Welcome to the third-party news for Retro Robot Radio for the date of September 6, 2014. Welcome to this week's show. Today we're going to be covering a lot of third-party Transformers news, including a lot of the reports coming from the Singapore Toy Game and Comic Convention, which is going on this weekend. Our first news is about Arc Studio, who have announced an upgrade set for the Legends Optimus Prime and Roller figure. This set will basically give it accessories and a new set of legs. The reason for the legs, of course, is so that it can properly tow its trailer. That's right. The Legends Optimus Prime will have a full-on G1 trailer that is just good to scale with a lot of the Arc Studio figures. I believe that's one of their the smokescreen figure there, or possibly the Blue Streak. And there's also going to be a version of this upgrade for the Nemesis Prime. It's shown here with the Target Master Partner that comes with Cliff Jumper, because that's just a recolor of Roller. And as you can see, they all fit inside the trailer nicely. Nice articulated arm on the repair bay. Now, Arc Studio did announce that this is a temporary head for the upgrade, but you can also use the upgrade to turn Nemesis Prime into Motor Master, but this is not the final head. Beelzeboss has announced the upcoming release of its Mad Machine. This is based on the Immobilizer that is seen in the Generation 1 TV series and is an accessory for Masterpiece Wheeljack, which the Wheeljack has been delayed, so this may be coming out about the same time Wheeljack actually gets here. The figure itself transforms from a freestanding immobilizer to a floating immobilizer. Comes with a remote control mechanism. Looks kind of neat if you're the one who wants to put accessories on your Masterpiece figures. The TF-Expo version of the BMOG figures Carburetor and Chopper have gone on sale on the TF-Expo website. So if you want to get these exclusive Springer-colored versions of the BMOG Bear and Manta molds, go to the site and order them. They still have leftovers there, and they're a pretty neat pair of figures. I'll leave a link to them in the show notes. Dawgstar Customs have shown off a figure they're tentatively calling Surge, although I'm told it might be changing his name. He is actually an homage to Micromaster Gusher, who was a Micromaster combiner that came with the oil transport. No word yet on if this is actually going to combine with a updated version of Pipeline. Dawgstar is currently attempting to get this figure mass-produced by one of the third-party companies, and failing that, he will be placing it on Shapeways at the very least to take a look at it. Dr. Wu has released a variant of their Cavalier sword. This is the sword used by Optimus Prime in the Age of Extinction movie. This variant is a translucent purple version and is available exclusively at Uncle Billy's Toy Castle. Enes Toys have announced a set of label upgrades for the DX9 Salmore figure. These labels will give it a little detail. You can see that it has the little flames on the side and little bits and bobs here. It's a neat little upgrade. Falcon's Hangar have announced that they're going to be carrying the Diaclone version of Columpio and the G2 version of Car Crash at the convention this weekend, so if anyone's actually going there, they can pick them up. Also, FansProject at that convention, which is already going on as I'm recording this, had a teaser on a poster that had a Diaclone version of their Slag Homage figure. So this version will be in gold, silver, blue, and metallic finish with probably a Diaclone driver. FansProject also teased one of its upgrade sets for the classic Voyager Optimus Prime. It's going to be part of the Parallax series, which is where they did their City Commander and Protector upgrades, and so far is just known as the Classics Prime skin. Supposedly this is a add-on armor for the Prime that actually doesn't have to be removed to allow him to transform, so it transforms with the armor on. FansProject also showed off the nearly finished Sigma L, their version of Headmaster Mindwipe, and their Bolar figure, who is their version of Swoop. Still no name on the six-changing Quick Switch homage. He's just simply known as Transforming Six Changer here on the display. And another teaser that was in their posters was a figure who looks a lot like Diatlas. So there's a possible Diatlas figure coming out. FansToys has been showing off some color images of their upcoming Soar figure, who is an homage to Generation 1 Swoop in the Masterpiece scale. This figure is scaled to go along with MP10 Optimus Prime. And as you can see, it has a lot of nice chrome bits. This is the TV show accurate colored version with the blue chest and the gold head. It will have light up sword that can be stored on the back. Here's a little action pose of him with the Quake Wave. And here's a variant of the head. It has clear plastic, which is what's on the Generation 1 toy. I've also heard there might be a variation with a red chest. It will come with a stand, and it'll be highly posable. Here's a little look at the stand. So this might be really nice to display in either mode, flying. Keith's Fantasy Club showed off this image of some parts for their upcoming Overslay cassette, which has been long delayed and we're all looking forward to seeing. Maketoys showed up at that convention this weekend, had their Metroplex figure, Utopia, being shown off, how big it was compared to the Maketoys Giant. Also their upcoming Pandinas figure, which is their version of Scorponok. Another news announcement from Maketoys is that they will be releasing a recolor of Blindfire, who's part of the Quantron combiner. That's their version of Strafe. And this version will be colored in the colors of Generation 1 Cutthroat. In other words, it's the Shattered Glass Strafe. And here's some pictures of the toy itself. This is going to be an exclusive to the Maketoys web store and will go on sale next weekend. The cost of the figure is about $60. Not sure if that's including shipping or not. It's not a bad toy. It's a little steep in the price, but if you really like this Shattered Glass figure, this might be the one for you. Some people complain that it's not Generation 1 Cutthroat. Well, you know, it's not. It's Shattered Glass Strafe. If you want a Cutthroat, well, there's probably another company that's going to be making the Abominus figure soon. We'll be talking about that later in the show. Here's a picture of the Jet mode, and this is why this figure is awesome. That convention in Singapore also is going to have the Bluster and Trench Technotoon Titans, the Magic Mushroom versions here that will be colored like Mario and Luigi. Mastermind Creations had a huge display at the Singapore show. We'll be going over some of those photos. One of the items that was announced there was a Terminus Hexatron Continuum version. This is a fixed and upgraded version of Hexatron. Comes with different weapons, different heads, some different wings, and metallic paint. So it's just basically the second run of the figure with some improvements. No, don't attack them. They're allowed to do that, guys. Second runs with improvements are good. Also, here are some of their upcoming figures. We have their version of Striker called Titanica. their version of Impactor called Spartan, their version of Kion, I think it was called Arcanus or something like that, and their version of Nova Prime, and that was, I can't even pronounce it. I wish they'd just call it something easier. Anyway, here's a closer look at their version of Strika. It's a little bit of a different concept. I wonder if this is being designed to be remolded easily into some other figures. Some people are saying it looks like Roadbuster, sort of, but I'm not sure what else they have planned for this mold. Here's a closer look at the Spartan figure, who's their version of Impactor. And I know there's at least 2 other versions of this figure that will be coming out. They are already designed into the mold. This is their version of Kion, who's the one who turns into the electric chair, or the torture chair. He's part of the Decepticon Justice Division. Another exclusive being shown off at the convention is going to be this shadow version of Mastermind Creations Azalea. The figure is a dark grayish and pink, and will be in a bit of an exclusive down there. Personally, I think they should have gone with the full remold and just done it as a Nightbird, but that's just me. Also, they showed off some color changes for the retail version of Azalea. Here's a little close-up on the face, how they might be painting it. And this bit of news is we finally have a comic book picture of the combined mode of all 6 Pharaohcons, including their version of Catilla as one of the arms. Perfect Effect announced that it's releasing an upgrade set for Warden that increases the size of the figure. It adds new weapons and leg extensions. And it does, in fact, combine with it in the alternate modes as well. Here you can see the comparison between regular Warden and the Warden with the add-on set. A company called Toy Stages has been showing off a little add-on figure they come up with, or excuse me, a little set they've come out with that is basically a little diorama for you to put in front of your figure, behind your figures, and looks like the inside of the Autobot spaceship from the Generation 1 TV series. Although, while you can see Mount St. Hilary in the background, shouldn't they be in it? Oh well. Unique Toys has surprised everyone with the announcement of their Orden figure. Orden is a homage to Generation 1 Abominus. And the first figure that they're going to be releasing is their version of Blot, who's called Troll. Now, this version of Abominus is heavily inspired by the Dreamwave Productions More Than Meets the Eye artwork, which means that Blot forms a leg instead of an arm, like he generally did in the Generation 1 original series. He also comes with the parts for Abominus's foot, which will become weapons for the robots or beast mode. Or you can display him without the weapons, as himself there. Okay. I don't see his actual original weapon, though, oddly. I wonder if that's going to be included. Also, you know what? I think I'd like this better if they did the chest in purple instead of gray. That's just me. And here he is compared to the Mastermind Creations Bovis figure. He's going to be quite a big fellow, much bigger than the Maketoys Quantron. X2 Toys announced a recolor set of their upcoming versions of the Autobot clones. Oddly enough, these are inspired by the Mudflap and Skids from Revenge of the Fallen, and the Designers Kidding Project Voltron line will be recolored into their version of Ravage. That's right, Ravage who turns into a gun. X-Transbots showed off their version of Wheelie, they call Ollie, who will be coming out soon. It's part of their Mini Masters line. As you can see here, he's a little bit smaller than their version of Pipes that came out recently. I also wanted to mention before we go that Rollout Roll Call announced that it will be presenting special guests Sino Kibble and Cassie Sark, toy designers, at their show at the Jersey Inn in Southampton on the 11th and 12th of October. So if you're in that area, you might want to go to the show. We have some feedback since our last episode. Jewist Man mentioned that it's a bit of a head scratcher to him why they would recolor the Mastermind Creations Rampage figure as Catilla and Autobot for a 6th member. Jim M mentions that it's a stretch for Overslay to be considered a cassette with all those huge gaps. As for the Mastermind Creation fillers, it's good that they're giving away the parts, but honestly the figure should have been designed from the beginning so that the forearms would be filled during the bot modes. And he's not impressed with the X-Transbots Huffer and Pipes, and says he will be waiting on reviews before he bites on the X-Transbots Scourge figure. Mr. Cable 75 says it'll be interesting to see how the X-Transbots Scourge looks. Also, Jewist Man wrote asking what's the word on the Pharaohcon with the super mode. It looks like it's just a repaint of the other Pharaohcon. So basically that is a 6th member who is done as Fila Saber, who's their version of Catilla. And yes, it is a repaint and remold of the Rampage that gives it a 6th member that will beef up their version of Predaking, which is called Feral Rex. Listener Shin Hibiki also mentions that it's very cool that the Masterpiece Rodimus Prime is getting the repair parts, and he hopes that he'll be kept updated on this one. This week's screen capture is from the 1952 Adventures of Superman episode, The Runaway Robot. This week's news brought to you from the pages of tformers.com and TFW 2005. News read by Matthew Ignash. Be sure to check out our YouTube page at Retro Robot Radio and leave a comment. And check out the third-party TF Crashers on Facebook.